Welcome back. In this special episode, we check out more select excerpts from this year's C4ISRNet conference.
Space Systems Command creates a more enterprise approach to launch, really unifying a lot of that effort, those lines of effort. Can you sort of walk us through how this change will change the way Space Force buys and conducts launches? You know, what's the top line benefits of doing it this way?
Yeah, so really the top line benefit is it really consolidates that entire activity under one organization and one command. As I said, I mentioned briefly previously, while launch is tactically speaking is an operation, right? Preparing a vehicle for launch, actually executing a launch, all of the operations to secure the airspace and the sea space and the land around the launch, and ensure that data is collected, and ensure the launch and the flight are all conducted in a safe manner. That's an intense operational activity, but at the end of the day, it's really an activity that we engage in as a Space Force to deploy the space systems and the space capabilities that the Joint Force needs. Our units, today, the 30th Space Wing and the 45th Space Wing, Cape Canaveral and Vandenberg Air Force Base, about to become Space Launch Deltas as we transform them into a Space Force enterprise. Those units are not assigned to a combatant command. They don't belong to U.S. Space Command. They are retained by the U.S. Air Force for the purpose of deploying systems. And so in this reorganization, putting together the launch operations, the range operations, the program office with the responsibility of acquiring the launch vehicle, of maintaining and upgrading the ranges, all for the purposes of deploying those space capabilities, is a way to unify that activity to make it more efficient and ultimately more effective. While it doesn't directly change our approach to the acquisition of launch vehicles and launch services today, it creates a more integrated ecosystem to allow us to evolve our approach to launch in the future as our needs change, as the industry changes, as the services available and other things change. That's really what it does.
With this unification of launch efforts, will the Space Force will responsive launch efforts sort of fall under that enterprise? We've sort of seen that be taken up by DARPA in the past, Defense Innovation Unit. You know, that idea of being able to launch new capabilities into space at a tactical speed to either replace capabilities that are taken down or disabled somehow, or get new capabilities up.
So we absolutely, the things that DARPA does today, the things that DIU do today to help innovate, to help push the edge of technology and operational concepts, we absolutely want them and need them to keep doing those things. They're a great partner, and just like they do for other domains, we want them to do those sorts of things. As those technologies evolve, as those new ideas and innovative operational concepts evolve and become viable for our needs, our missions, our requirements, we will absolutely adopt them. But we want DARPA and DIU and others to continue to push those ideas, push that technology, and push our thinking in that regard. We do, in fact, SSC does have what I'll call a small and rapid launch office and capability today. It's actually part of Space and Missile Systems Center today, soon to be SSC out of Kirtland Air Force Base. They've got a division out there that does a whole host of things, including a small and rapid launch office. And they work with venture class providers and some others, you know, for those smaller, lower cost and rapid capabilities. So we do have an office that works with those small, rapid launch providers today, but absolutely DARPA, DIU, AFRL, all of those creative and experimentation and rapid prototyping type activities to evolve the launch enterprise, they need to keep doing what they're doing. And as those become capabilities that we can use specifically in the Space Force, we will definitely bring them in, adapt them, and apply them to our missions.
And that's all we have time for this week. Please visit us on C4ISRNet.com for more coverage. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.